Let's move on to the our second conversation. Nigeria's anti-corruption fight has taken a dramatic turn with the revelation of the EFCC chairman that about 100 senior lawyers are currently facing prosecution for corruption-related offenses. Investigations reportedly uncovered allegations ranging from diversion of client funds to aiding money laundering. From your perspective, Vikeo, how significant is this revelation?
It is very significant. I never knew it was this bad. I have friends who are lawyers, and they tell me about, they speak about the extent of corruption in the judiciary. In fact, some of them have given up that we can actually have a good justice system, given the rampant corruption in the judiciary. And for the EFCC chairman to have come out in this way, saying that at the time when he was coming into office, he checked the EFCC database and discovered that they had 100 senior lawyers, members of the bar, who are being prosecuted by the EFCC for misconduct such as diversion of clients' funds, aiding money laundering, among others. And on the same day that he was reeling out these disturbing figures, the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee also presented its 2025 report, where many lawyers were found guilty of professional misconduct. 17 lawyers were sanctioned after investigations were conducted, and those investigations showed that they were guilty of gross misconduct, unethical practices while performing their duties. So 3 of them had their names struck off the roll of legal practitioners, meaning that those 3 individuals are no longer can no longer call themselves professional lawyers, since their names have been struck out. 3 of them were suspended for 5 years, 2 suspended for 4 years, 5 suspended for 3 years. Right now, there is a pressing need to enforce ethical standards within the profession. There has to be proper regulation, there has to be discipline, so that public confidence in the judiciary can be maintained. It makes no sense for us to find ourselves in the moral crisis that we find ourselves currently with the judiciary. The an ICPC survey showed that 9.4 billion naira flowed through the justice sector between 2018 and 2020. Lawyers and litigants are primarily bribe givers. Lawyers giving bribe to judges because the clients cannot interface directly with the judges. So through big lawyers, money gets passed to judges. That is what we are talking about here. And there is generally a global vote of no confidence on the Nigerian judiciary, because how our judges give judgment to the highest bidder is already well known. Somebody told me the story of, especially during election petitions, while election petitions are being tried. This is the time when many lawyers bribe judges. This is the time when a lot of the corruption takes place. A lot of the bribery and corruption takes place. I was told a story of how some judges were told to go to Ghana by a politician who then passed a bribe to them in foreign currency at a Ghanaian supermarket, because they know that they cannot pass money to those judges through the banking system, because they won't be able to cover their tracks if they decided to do that. So they give this money in cash, especially in foreign currency, and they now fly judges outside of the shores of our country simply to go and receive bribe. Why should a lawyer steal the funds of his clients or appropriate the property of his clients? Yes, we know that every profession has its black legs, every profession has its bad eggs. But the corruption within the judiciary is endemic. And it now looks like justice only goes to the rich. Justice goes to the highest bidder. The poor people are the ones who get punished for infractions, while the rich, the big people in our society, escape accountability. That is why there is a need for the legal practitioners themselves, beginning with the CJN, to sanitize the sector.
Yeah.
There's a need to sanitize the sector of corrupt judges, of corrupt lawyers, so that faith in the judicial system can be restored. The judiciary is crucial to the preeminence of democracy in our country. And that is why we cannot treat the judiciary like any other sector. Yes, journalists too are guilty of corruption, but for the judiciary to thrive, we need, for democracy to thrive, we need a judiciary that is above board, where justice is not sold to the highest bidder, where justice would be given at all times based on the letters of the law. This is what we want to see. And I want to encourage the EFCC to continue to prosecute lawyers who are rubbishing their oath, the ethics of their profession, and their oath of office. There's a need for this sanitization process to continue. There's a need for the NBA to continue to wield the big stick, as they've done in 2025, against the black legs in their profession. We see the police do that, parading those who manhandle civilians, parading those who extort money from people on our roads. We need the legal profession to do a lot more of that, so that the bad eggs, giving the profession a bad name, and making the confidence that Nigerians have in the judiciary to be eroded. Such people need to be dealt with severely.
Absolutely. We have Evangelist Omorigbe saying those lawyers and the judges should lose their licenses. This is a national disgrace. We also have Shegun Olatunji saying if lawyers are now being tried for fraud, then we really need serious reform in the legal profession. Miriam Abdullahi says the EFCC deserves credit here. Nobody should be above the law, not even lawyers. Chukwemeka also says, but let's be careful. Being charged is not the same as being guilty. Let the courts do their job. Kemi Alabi says some of these lawyers are the same people who help politicians hide stolen money. This crackdown is long overdue. Adaize Obi says, this is embarrassing for the legal profession. Lawyers are supposed to defend justice, not undermine it. And lastly, Bode Akinwale says, Nigeria's corruption problem is deeper than politics. When even lawyers are implicated, you know the system needs serious cleansing. Thank you, BKO.